ABC Action News starts right now with breaking news.
New video coming in just within the last hour of an earthquake in the Caribbean so strong people here in Florida could feel the ground move underneath them. Check out this home surveillance video from the Cayman Islands and all the water moving around in that pool right there. Tonight we know at least one person in Pinellas County made a report to the U.S. Geological Survey saying they felt this earthquake too. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Wendy Ryan.
And I'm Jamison Euler. Neither the St. Pete Police Department nor the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office say they got any calls about the tremors. But take a look. The blue dots right here on this map show where people in Florida reported feeling that magnitude 7.7 earthquake there. It hit south of Cuba and northwest of Jamaica. And listen as dispatchers in the Miami area describe the tremors.
Chief, according to one of the police officers, the shaking was felt on all four buildings. But he says all four buildings felt the shake. I don't know if it was underground or...
As you can see on the left side of your screen, people in Miami evacuated from tall buildings to be safe. And on the right side of your screen, a similar scene in Jamaica. We're working to find out how much damage, if any, was done. But let's get to Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips. And Dennis, more and more aftershocks are still rattling the Caribbean.
They are, Jameson. And the thing we're concerned about here in the Bay Area, obviously, is a lot of our cruise ships go into this immediate area. Now, the first and the largest quake, 7.7, was located, fortunately, equidistant between Cuba, Jamaica, and the Caymans. So it was so far out in the middle of the water that the damage was rather minor in most spots. However, over about maybe an hour to an hour and a half later, at 4:55, actually, exactly, just over an hour ago, we had another 6.1 to 6.5, and this is much closer to the east side of Grand Cayman. And with that being the case, there is a ton of video on social media coming out now with quite a bit of damage. I wouldn't call it extensive damage, but storefronts, things falling, and a large pool water moving far more than the video that we just showed you. So this is just coming out right now, and we'll have more on that coming up over the next several hours. But bottom line, this is, interestingly enough, not the fault that spawned all of the earthquakes in the Puerto Rico area over the last couple of weeks. This is something entirely different. And as we mentioned, I would anticipate additional aftershocks for at least another week or two to come. More on that and a look at our updated forecast coming up in a few minutes.
We'll see you shortly. Thank you, Dennis. Another developing story tonight. We're watching at 6. Polk County health officials say they just got word of their first rabies case of the year. Animal control officers say a raccoon tested positive for rabies after a fight with an Alaskan husky in Lakeland. The dog got vaccinated and is quarantined now at home. Polk County saw 11 rabies cases last year, all of them in bats and raccoons.
All new at 6 now, Clearwater police just arrested this man for rape, and now they fear there could be even more victims out there. Officers say last September, William Walden met a woman on Gulf to Bay Boulevard, drove her to a nearby parking lot, then dragged her from the car, beat her, and assaulted her. DNA evidence linked Walden to that attack. Detectives want to hear from anyone who might know something about other cases Walden may be involved in.
A racketeering bust ends a crime spree in Hillsborough and Pasco counties. Now investigators are linking the suspects to about 24 burglaries, more than $1 million in stolen property and money as well. ABC Action News reporter Haley Bull is taking action for you with some steps you can take to protect your home.
Investigators say there wasn't anything the victims could have done to prevent this, but they do credit one with helping in this case.
This is just a bad recipe.
That recipe, investigators say, amounted to a racketeering bust, and these 6 suspects arrested following about 24 residential burglaries.
The relationships that we had made the difference in this case.
Detectives believe there are 15 cases in Tampa, 7 in Hillsborough County, and 2 in Pasco County. One, a $900,000 burglary where unique memorabilia was taken, and the other, a $30,000 burglary.
She had a company come to her house, and they did work. It turns out after her house was burglarized for $30,000, she kind of had, a suspicion that these people may have been involved. She started doing some digging into that company. She got some images of people that were there.
That helped investigators in the cases where they say suspects disguised as construction workers using back windows and sliding doors to break in.
The residents and homeowners were doing everything they could.
That's why investigators offer this tip.
You have somebody come in and do work in your house, just ask, can I take your photograph? I just want to make sure, and if they're up and up community and they're a good company, they're going to do it.
And at the end of the day, If you see something suspicious, report it. Detectives believe the suspects could be linked to other burglary cases. All 6 suspects are facing multiple charges, including RICO violation. Reporting in Tampa, Haley Bull, ABC Action News.
We're looking ahead to what's next for President Donald Trump's impeachment trial now that the president's lawyers have wrapped up their opening statements. They argued the language in the impeachment charges is too vague. Now questions remain over whether senators will hear new witnesses, in particular former National Security Advisor John Bolton. Bolton claims the president told him he was withholding military aid from Ukraine until the other country agreed to investigate the president's political rivals.
I'd like to hear from John Bolton, and I think the idea that's been expressed in the media about having each side be able to choose a witness, or maybe more than one witness, on a paired basis, it has some merit.
A vote on witnesses is not expected until Friday. Before that happens, the president's team and the House impeachment managers will respond in real time to written questions from senators.
New developments in the Carly Bruscia case. Prosecutors are once again seeking the death penalty for the man convicted in her murder. Joseph Smith's original sentence was vacated due to a Supreme Court decision requiring juries to be unanimous in death penalty cases. But a new ruling just last week says a unanimous jury is no longer necessary. 11-year-old Carly Bruscia was last seen alive back in 2004 when a surveillance camera caught Joseph Smith snatching her behind a Sarasota car wash.
People hoping for a sweet treat may have been surprised to see these closed signs at 2 local restaurants. The company that owns the restaurant chain Village Inn just declared bankruptcy. The chain, known for its pies, abruptly shut down 33 locations nationwide, and that includes ones on North Dale Mabry Highway in Tampa and on Lakeside Village Circle in Lakeland. According to the bankruptcy filing, these stores are underperforming, and now the company is reorganizing.
A car dealer told a Largo mom the SUV she was buying was in perfect condition, but when it died just days after she drove it off the lot, she made a call to our consumer reporter Jackie Calloway, and now she has this warning for everyone on the market for a new ride.
Yeah, it does the same thing. It won't do anything.
The GMC broke down as Kaylee Coleman and her children were driving down Ulmerton Road just days after she bought it.
He said it ran perfectly.
We contacted the dealer, who confirmed he sent Kaylee this text saying the SUV was perfect. That was before she shelled out $6,400 for the vehicle.
It kind of tore my world apart, and I spent every dime I had on getting this vehicle and getting back on the road for my family.
According to the contract, Kaylee bought the Acadia as is, meaning the dealer is not responsible for any repairs after the sale. So she took the GMC to a licensed mechanic.
There's a water pump that's leaking. Front and top engine motor mounts are broken.
According to the estimate, the ride needed about $4,000 in repairs.
I just didn't have the money to do it. I just spent all my money on this car.
I called the dealer, who said he would work with Kaylee to make this right.
Please just be a decent person and give me one that works, that's safe.
After we got involved, that dealer took back the broken down SUV and put Kaylee and her kids in a vehicle that actually runs. We hear stories like hers almost every day, and that's why you should never buy a used vehicle as is unless you have a mechanic inspect it first. I'm Jackie Calloway, taking action for you.
There are new resources on the way to Florida to fight human trafficking. The U.S. Transportation Department just announced an initiative to train workers at airports, bus depots, and other transportation hubs on how to spot human trafficking. It's also freeing up more than $5 million in grant money, and some of that will go to HART right here in the Bay Area. HART will use that money to raise public awareness about this serious issue leading up to next year's Super Bowl at Raymond James Stadium. And according to the Transportation Department, there were more than 750 human trafficking cases right here in Florida in 2018, and that's why our ABC Action News I-team has spent this past week shining a light on this crime. And you can see all of our special reports right now on abcactionnews.com/I-team, from how investigators build a case against trafficking suspects to how social media is used to target sex buyers.
Back-to-back Super Bowls in the Sunshine State. This year it's Miami. As you can see there, the field at the Hard Rock Stadium is all ready. And next year it's in Tampa for the first time since 2009. ABC Action News reporter Eric Waxler is in South Florida all week leading up to this year's game.
Next year at this time, we will be gearing up for for Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, but now we are in Miami to get you ready for everything surrounding the big game and what officials from Tampa Bay will be doing down here to get ready. Today, we got our first look inside Hard Rock Stadium before Super Bowl 54. The Chiefs and the 49ers play on Sunday. This will be the 6th Super Bowl in this stadium, but the first since it's had major renovations, putting a roof of sorts on it. Miami has hosted the Super Bowl 10 times overall, going back to the old Orange Bowl. We talked with Pittsburgh Steelers Hall of Fame quarterback Terry Bradshaw about how the big game has changed since his teams played and won those Super Bowls in the 1970s.
Super Bowl 10, I did the interview in the old Orange Bowl, leaning up against an I-beam. And my dad and my brother were there, and I was leaning up against an I-beam. We were just talking about the game, and three guys came over and asked me questions.
This will be a star-studded week here in Miami with so many big names from the world of football and beyond coming to town, and many from Tampa Bay will be here too. We will talk with them in the days ahead as we get ready for Super Bowl 55 a year from now in Tampa Bay at Raymond James Stadium. In Miami Beach, Eric Waxler covering Super Bowl 54 for ABC Action News.
Honoring history in their own way. Take a look. The message of hope and determination hundreds of local students hope to send together. Plus, back to that breaking news, a powerful earthquake in the Caribbean. Brand new video of water spilling over the sides of a pool here on the island of Grand Cayman. The impact some folks felt here in Florida. Dennis.
Yeah, James, and speaking of our weather, look at that. Just a beautiful sunset across the area. But by this time tomorrow, we'll be tracking some clouds and eventually some rain. I'll time it out for you coming up.
We're continuing to follow that breaking news. A powerful magnitude 7.7 earthquake in the Caribbean, so strong it could be felt right here in Florida. This is new video of people in the Brickell neighborhood of Miami evacuating from a tall building there after they felt the earth move underneath them. An earthquake of this magnitude categorized as a major earthquake, but we have not gotten word of any serious damage there. More aftershocks are being felt in the Caribbean, and in less than 5 minutes, we will check in with Chief Meteorologist Dennis Phillips as he goes through the new data. Jameson?
Creating a new movement straight out of the history books. Action Air 1 flying over Clearwater as nearly 900 students honored the anniversary of a civil rights march. ABC Action News reporter Sarah Hollenbeck shows us how a woman who fought for change back in the 1960s joined those students.
Linda Blackman Lowry played a key role in civil rights marches 55 years ago. Today, she was here in Clearwater, proudly joining the students who will carry on her legacy.
It was a scary day.
A day Lowry will never forget. She was just 14 when she marched in Selma, Alabama for African Americans to get the right to vote.
I also, on that day, received a total of 35 stitches in my head from the beating that I received on that bridge at age 14.
Kai Montana wanted to do more than just read about the historic civil marches. She and other students at Clearwater High School organizing their own Unity March and inviting Lowry to inspire another generation.
Right now, we are the future, and if we don't know, then there's no legacy to keep going.
Together, students from 17 Pinellas County high schools marching Tuesday across the Clearwater Memorial Causeway.
We are united!
Hoping to send a message about the importance of diversity and the power of young voices.
The picture painted is that they don't really care, but like you can see today that we do, we care.
And for a woman who helped to shape history, Lowry says this is what she's most proud of.
To see them recognize the power that they have, that they can make positive change is just, it's an awesome feeling.
Up next, several students from Clearwater High School will head to Selma, Alabama to take part in another civil rights march for unity there. Reporting in Clearwater, I'm Sarah Hollenbeck, ABC Action News.
Well, you might not think airports and bicycles really go together.
Yeah, but believe it or not, a biking group just named Tampa International Airport the first bicycle-friendly airport in the United States. It's because of a series of improvements the airport is making with cyclists in mind. One of the biggest projects is a new bike path circling the airport.
They're also building covered bicycle parking spots and a repair station. One man who bikes to his job at the airport's car rental center is really excited about these changes.
You don't have to worry about it getting stolen, vandalized, broken, or nothing. It's great.
Airport officials say they feel they're starting a new trend that might inspire other changes across the country.
A lot of folks happy about the weather today after yesterday's weather, but everybody now focusing on the earthquakes that are going on.
Yeah,
I know you are too.
A little scary, a little concerning.
They have been. And fortunately, though, we're not getting a ton of reports of damage. If you go on social media, of course, there's always folks who post old video, old pictures that aren't accurate. So keep it right here. At this point in time, the damage is rather minor. And fortunately, we continue to see aftershocks, but at least they haven't been in spots where we are seeing any kind of injuries or significant damage. It's something we'll keep our eyes on. There's the mainsail, a beautiful afternoon and evening across the area. And again, the reason we're focusing so much on the earthquake activity is this is an area that Tampa cruise ships go all the time. I mean, from Grand Cayman over to Jamaica. And then you notice the first one, 7.7, kind of equidistant between all those areas. So fortunately, the tsunami issues really never materialized anything more than maybe a couple of feet.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Before we go to break, we want to go to some breaking news in the impeachment trial of President Donald Trump. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he does not have enough votes to block a resolution that would allow witnesses in the trial. Now, if the Senate votes yes on this, it's likely Democrats will call on former National Security Advisor John Bolton to give testimony. Bolton claims the president withheld military aid from Ukraine unless the other country agreed to investigate Joe and Hunter Biden. ABC Action News at 6 continues after this.
There are new reports and efforts from basketball fans to honor Kobe Bryant's legacy after his shocking death in a helicopter crash on Sunday. This petition behind me has more than 2 million signatures right now. It calls for the NBA to change its logo to Bryant's likeness, as you see right here. The move would not be unprecedented for the NBA. Its current logo is based on the image of another former LA Laker, Jerry West. Meanwhile, the LA County coroner saying hours ago it has now recovered all of the bodies from the wreckage of the helicopter. 9 people died in that crash, including Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, a college baseball coach and his family, and a youth women's basketball coach.
Switching gears now, the Tampa Bay Lightning are getting ready for Hockey Week in Tampa Bay. They're planning a 9-day series of events starting Sunday, February 9th. There will be a skills competition featuring Lightning alums like Vincent Lecavalier and Marty St. Louis, and also matches between youth teams. The Bolts say they hope to expose the game of hockey to new audiences. Tickets to the event at Amalie Arena start at $10. Dennis?
Yeah, Jameson, looking at tomorrow morning, it's going to be cold to start your day, 40s. So definitely a heavy coat needed early on in the day, but then it's one of those days the afternoon turns out to be very nice, low to mid 70s. The rain you see there is Wednesday night, Thursday morning, then clearing the rest of Thursday, then more rain Friday night into Saturday. So it's not rain through the whole stretch, but each day is going to have some rain until Sunday when we clear out.
All right, thank you. ABC Action News is always on when you need us.
Make sure to download our 24/7 streaming news channel on your favorite connected device, and we'll see you right back here at 11. Have a good night, everyone.